All the major news stories made simple and easy for your listening pleasure. We'll break it down for you in keywords. And for this segment, we're joined by Adam. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Lena.
Any food trends that you've come across in this new year?
Already?
Yes, we're already on
6 days in.
Yeah, that's a lot of days.
Right.
That's a lot of meals.
To set a new trend, though?
To forecast a new trend.
To forecast a new trend. Oh, I don't know. I eat anything, so
that's easy.
everything's a trend for me, I guess.
Are you a big meat eater?
I am.
Okay,
I am. I
that's
need
fair.
to cut down, I know. But yes, I mean, yeah.
I mean, I'm not forcing you. I'm not all about green shaming,
Yeah.
but I mean, we still need to keep that conversation going simultaneously. One of our regulars, Teo, who leads the environmental segment, suggested what he dubs quasi-flexitarian lifestyle. So it's like flexitarian, where you're halfway to committing to a vegetarian lifestyle. So you have less meat as opposed to cutting it out completely.
Okay. Yeah, not for me.
It's like waiting for a signature. Have you ever gone around homes asking for signatures for a cause you believe in? It was kind of like that.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people. Whatever's given to me, I eat.
All right.
I
tried to. I really tried.
And in a large amount, which I should not be doing. But yeah, that sounds like an idea. Maybe one day of the week, maybe vegan.
Oh, see, you start small. That's the suggestion.
That's probably going to end there, though.
You know what, Adam?
It wouldn't be the start of anything. It'll just be a practice.
I'm going to move things along.
Yes.
To each their own.
Yeah.
If you've committed to a new kind of foodie lifestyle or you've come across an interesting food trend, do let us know. We'll talk about it more in detail with Diane in just a moment. That was really long. I apologize. Moving things along to keyword news. We have a lot of grounds to cover. This is our first pick of the day.
Business compensation.
The second round of support funds for small merchants begins today. Let's share the logistics around this fund. What should we know, Adam?
Yeah, so some 2.5 million small merchants will be eligible for this second round. They'll each be getting $1 million each. They are mostly self-employed people who haven't had any restrictions on, say, operation hours like restaurants and cafes, but they have been indirectly impacted, and they include lodging, travel and beauty businesses. Text messages will go out from 9 a.m., so in about an hour's time for those eligible. Applications for the first 2 days will be done on a rotational basis, for the expected kind of influx of applications to be made. Today, those whose business registration number ends in an even number can apply. Tomorrow, it's odd numbers. So do take note of that if you are one of these people eligible for this. If they apply before 6 p.m., they'll be paid on the same day.
That's really fast.
That is a bit fast, yes. Most other self-employed people will be able to apply for the compensation from next Monday. So, yeah, but still, of course, we've heard about these protests that are happening with these small businesses.
Some small businesses are just keeping their doors open past the curfew, huh?
Right, they're kind of defying the new restrictions because they just simply can't stay afloat and compensate. They take it to the streets with rallies and stuff like that. So, yes, the government is trying to do something for them, but of course, these businesses are saying those measures aren't enough. Their losses are much greater.
All right, moving on to our second keyword of the day.
North Korean missile launch.
It shaped up to be a really busy morning for all news teams yesterday. North Korea fired a suspected ballistic missile early on Wednesday. It's the first provocation of the year and has brought condemnation from both South Korea and the U.S. for, of course, compromising UN sanctions. What's the latest?
Yeah, it was not only the first of the year, but the first since October. The projectile flew from Changwon province in the north of North Korea. It could be another violation of UNSC resolutions if the latest projectile is officially confirmed to be a ballistic missile. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff has not provided more details on what type of short-range ballistic missile the North tested. The North said it was a hypersonic missile, and state media said it precisely hit a target 700 kilometers away, so it's basically saying that it was a successful test. The North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, however, did not attend the firing. The North conducted the first test firing of this so-called hypersonic missile, the Hwasong-8, in September last year. At that time, the South Korean military said it appeared to be at an early stage of development, so it seems that the North is kind of continuing with the development of
Right.
the Hwasong 8, or it could be another hypersonic missile. We'll have to see. No confirmations yet.
But it's still a development in a brand new weapons for North Korea, right?
Right.
We'll have to wait, as you mentioned, to further analyze the nature of whether or not it's confirmed to be ballistic missiles. But in the meantime, we have to gauge the reaction, namely from South Korea and the U.S.
Yes, the Joint Chiefs of Staff said South Korean and U.S. intelligence authorities were trying to gather more information about the launch. And speaking hours after the launch as well, President Moon Jae-in said the launch raised concerns of tensions, and he called for Pyongyang to make sincere efforts for dialogue. Now, the U.S. condemned the launch as well as a violation of multiple UNSC resolutions and a threat to the international community. The State Department, however, said the U.S. remains committed to dialogue with the North. So it's pretty much the same reactions that we've been seeing with previous missile tests by Pyongyang. Foreign media and many watchers say the latest launch is a sign that Pyongyang is not willing to join talks or denuclearization talks for the time being. It seems to be more focused on building up its military after such vows were made by Kim Jong-un as well. In his New Year's address, there wasn't even a mention of President Moon's proposal for an end-of-war declaration. So it seems to be on those kind of peace talks seems to be on the back burner in the regime.
It seemed that Kim Jong-un in his speech wanted to address the state of North Korea's economy first. So
Right.
I guess in that sense, this comes kind of as a surprise, the testing itself.
That's right.
All right. Of course, we also have to question the timing of it all every time. This brings us to our third keyword of the day.
Inter-Korean Railway.
So that very launch came as a groundbreaking ceremony for an inter-Korean railway was taking place.
Yeah, so quite unfortunate timing, considering the railway is kind of a project aimed at improving inter-Korean ties. And President Moon attended the ceremony and reaffirmed his will to achieve peace and prosperity on the Korean peninsula. He attended the event just 3 hours after the launch. The railroad connects Gangneung and Chejin Station, both in Gangwon Province in the east. Chejin Station was actually connected to Kamo Station in North Korea in 2007 through an agreement between the two Koreas in 2002. It's expected to connect the coastal railway to North Korea as well, this new project. Seoul aims to complete construction in 2027. The government envisions linking the line across the border through North Korea to the Trans-Siberian Railway and eventually to the rest of Europe. So this Eurasia kind of connection is what it's envisioning. Domestically, it is linked to major port cities such as Busan, Ulsan and Pohang. Connecting the roads and railways of the Koreas was recognized as a priority cooperation project during the Inter-Korean summits in 2018. However, they had been put on hold because of the impasse in denuclearization talks between North Korea and the United States in 2019. The South Korean government in April 2020 designated the Donghae Northern Line construction as an intercooperation project, speeding along the process, and hence why we have had this groundbreaking ceremony.
All right, moving on to our fourth keyword of the day.
Modest medal targets.
So less than a month left before the Beijing Winter Olympics, and South Korea has set quite a modest medal target. Had it been without the pandemic, I don't think we would have been less ambitious.
Right. The Korea Sport and Olympic Committee has set a target of just 1 or 2 gold medals, so 2 at the most. That would be their lowest target total for 20 years, in fact. The goal falls short of the 5 gold medals that South Korea actually won as it hosted Pyeongchang in 2018, and it won a lot of other silver and bronze medals in that event as well. South Korea has also won at least 2 gold medals at every Winter Games since 1992 as well, so it seems kind of like a minimum target for them to achieve, but it's putting it at the maximum target. The KSOC, based on its prediction, among others, a series of issues that have marred the short track team, which is one of the favourites to win the most gold medals in the Winter Games. For example, rival nations in the sport, they've been improving in recent years.
Watching South Korea,
scouting a lot of South Korean coaches as well. Well, South Korea in itself had some issues as well internally. For one, Shim Seok-hee, the two-time Olympic champion, was handed a 2-month ban this week over criticizing her 2018 Olympic teammates and coaches in leaked text messages. It's been quite a controversy. As it stands, she will not be eligible for Beijing 2022. She's one of the favorites for a gold medal.
Right.
And she may either file for a court injunction or simply accept her penalty. We have to see. So nothing's definitive at the moment. But other athletes have expressed confidence that they can do much better than their last time round. The women's curling team, for one, grabbed silver 4 years ago.
And they came out of nowhere.
And they came out of nowhere, exactly. And they will either look to match that feat or do better, hopefully, next month as well. So there are a lot of up-and-coming stars that we should be watching out for.
And let's be honest, were we paying attention to curling before Pyeongchang?
Not really.
Exactly.
Remember the famous phrase, Youngmi?
Is it such a phrase? It's just a name.
Well, it's
a chant.
I mean, you and I play golf, right?
I play golf
more often than you do, yeah. But if a golf ball rolls along the green more than it should, then the common trending phrase is Youngmi. So the ball is continuously going like on an ice rink.
Oh, isn't that clever?
Yeah.
All right.
It's being incorporated into other sports is what I'm saying.
That's how popular it really was. Moving on to our fifth keyword of the day.
Record car sales.
Korean cars seem to be gaining popularity overseas, with Hyundai Kia making record sales, particularly in the U.S. market. Run us through the numbers.
Yeah, so their combined sales spiked 19% on year in 2021. This is despite the pandemic and chip shortages as well, which is needed for making cars. Now, the two firms sold a total of 1.44 million vehicles last year. That's up from 1.21 million units a year ago. Hyundai's US sale climbed 19% to nearly 740,000 units. Kia's also jumped 20% to just over 700,000. And for this year, Hyundai said it will focus on promoting the pure electric Ioniq 5 and SUV models in the US market. Kia, for its part, plans to launch the all-electric EV6 sedan and the new Sportage SUV in the first half of this year to boost sales as well.
All right, on to our last keyword of the day.
MyData.
An all-in-one banking service. It's been launched in Korea, allowing users to manage their financial data spread across many different financial firms, bringing it into one place. It sounds clever, convenient, and always with a caveat, risk.
That is a good point you mentioned there. So it does sound good on paper, but of course there's a technological challenge as well. So there are a lot of technical issues at play. It is called MyData, and the service was put on a trial run in December before more than 30 financial institutions officially started offering it yesterday. The official launch was initially actually delayed due to the pandemic, so it was actually meant to start earlier. Now, MyData allows licensed service providers to collect and analyze personal data scattered across the financial sector. The service providers, though, must collect consumers' consent before they can access their data, which is currently held separately by these different financial institutions such as banks and credit card issuers. The service aims to help customers make more informed financial decisions, looking at their bank accounts, account balances, loans and insurance all at once as well. So it's
even your investment portfolio, you can just put it into all basically one viewing chart.
Exactly, which does make it more convenient and help people to make more, as I said, informed decisions. Now, the financial companies providing the service through their smartphone apps are expected to roll out more personalized financial products to users as well. So it may differ between the banks. Now, for more financial companies are expected to join the service by the end of January as well. So there are a lot more in store. So yeah, it seems convenient, but of course, do expect some technical issues. It is still early days for this service.
That's right. We have a tech sector on Thursdays, and every time there's a new gadget or something that makes our lives absolutely more convenient in this case, we always have to bring the question of privacy. Are we breaching any of that? Are we risking losing data by any chance? Things like that. But however, for the time being, we've come a long way since the early days of online banking for South Korea, and I think that's something to mark as a special occasion.
Yeah, any new technology requires some incubation period, if you will.
Right.
There's always going to be a bit of nothing will run 100% smoothly in its
Consider
initial
this
days.
incubation period.
Yeah.
It's really clever. Thanks, Adam. I'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
If you're listening to our program using the podcast service, just a reminder that we do go live Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Korea Standard Time. So tune in and help us make the show more informative by giving us your input. See you bright and early on Good Morning Seoul.